Imagine walking out onto a sun-drenched, sweltering beach in the middle of summer, wearing a heavy winter coat. Or imagine stepping outside into a freezing snowstorm while wearing a flimsy t-shirt. It sounds completely ridiculous because we naturally check the forecast and adjust our clothes to match the physical weather outside. But when it comes to doing intellectual work, we tend to ignore the forecast. We act as if our internal mental weather doesn't exist. We treat our brains as if they operate in a static, climate-controlled vacuum. This assumption makes it difficult to just sit down and start. Think about how a typical study schedule is built. We map out a rigid, unyielding block of tasks that looks the same on a Tuesday as it does on a Saturday. Embedded in that plan is an expectation for your hardest cognitive output, your deepest thinking, and your peak concentration every single day. Then comes the morning when you wake up exhausted or your focus is completely scattered. You stare at a demanding task with a depleted brain. The friction is so intense that you freeze. You scroll on your phone, you procrastinate, and the session never begins. We mistake this freeze state for a character flaw. In reality, the friction comes from forcing a high-energy plan onto a low-energy brain. Biologically, human energy is not a constant. Factors like sleep quality, stress levels, and our natural circadian rhythms cause our cognitive capacity to fluctuate. We often expect our productivity to be a flat horizontal line, anticipating the same output every hour of every day. If graphed out, real mental energy looks like this, a shifting, unpredictable wave that rises and falls. But when we overlay a flat daily schedule, massive red gaps appear on days your energy dips below the plan's demands. Forcing an unchanging routine onto a fluctuating biological engine is an engineering flaw. It creates the very friction we call procrastination. The way out of this trap is to stop forcing your brain to match the plan. Instead, we alter the plan to match the brain. First, take all your required study tasks and sort them based on their required cognitive load. High-energy tasks involve heavy lifting, drafting complex essays, solving difficult equations, or synthesizing new material. Low-energy tasks require much less horsepower, things like organizing notes, color-coding materials, or reviewing familiar flashcards. This creates an inventory of different options you can deploy depending on what your brain's current energy state allows. Ultimately, having multiple plans based on cognitive load turns studying into a resilient system that bends without breaking. Picture a random Tuesday afternoon. You sit down at your desk and you feel an undeniable drop in your mental focus. In the past, you might have stared at a complex chapter summary, felt overwhelmed by the friction, and abandoned the whole session. Under an adaptive system, you acknowledge the exhaustion without judgment. You actively pivot to your pre-designed, low-energy plan. You spend 20 minutes sorting your notes and reviewing familiar terms. You successfully maintain forward momentum without burning out your remaining energy. Making progress on your exhausted days is what prevents the entire habit from collapsing. There is a widespread belief that success requires an endless supply of brute force discipline, but long-term consistency is rarely born from willpower. It comes from intelligent alignment. When the task's demands align with your brain's current capacity, getting started feels effortless. Low motivation serves as a diagnostic signal. It highlights a mismatch between the task and your current mental weather. You don't need more motivation to succeed. You need a system that respects the biological reality of how your brain works.